So in today's episode, we are going to be talking about neighborhoods. This is an episode you don't want to miss, especially when you're buying a home, because you want to make sure that where you're moving is going to be to your delight. So stay tuned and we'll get after it right now. So welcome back, y'all, to the Living in Central Texas channel. If this is the first time to the channel, make sure you like, subscribe, and hit the notification bells so that way you can be notified as to what's happening here in the Killeen, Temple, Texas area. Again, my name is Jacob and I'm with the Living in Central Texas channel. I'm your host, and today I think it's going to be a very crucial topic that we talk about, because we're going to be talking about neighborhoods, okay? What to look for in a neighborhood, what questions that are pertinent, right? Because sometimes you want to move to a certain suburb, but you definitely want to check out the neighborhoods within those suburbs. Just because you're going to move to an area that may be, oh wow, great and dandy, where you have a good tax rate or you have great schools, but you also want to make sure that the neighborhood that you're living within that suburb is to your delight. And yes, today I'm here at the Harker Heights Community Park. As you guys can see, has walking trails, picnic tables. There's a lot of people that come here that like to go hiking. And as you guys can see right behind me, there's baseball fields and softball fields here. Okay, so let's get to it. So a general neighborhood overview. What is the neighborhood known for, right? These are general questions that you want to ask. What kind of people typically live here? You have families, young professionals, retirees, right? Some people, especially when they're older, they don't want to be where it's too busy, right? So they normally want to relax, enjoy nature, and they just want to be more secluded. They want to have their privacy. When people are younger, they want to be around the shopping, they want to be around the busy streets, the city, all the restaurants, stuff like that. So you always want to make sure where you're going to move, okay, if it's going to pertain to what your situation at your moment in that current time of your life is going to be, right? So how would you describe the overall vibe? What are some unique standout features of this neighborhood? And how does this neighborhood compare to others in the area? Okay, so just remember, not only do neighborhoods differ, obviously cities differ, right? But so do the neighborhoods within the city. So you always have to make sure that the neighborhood that you're going to be moving into is going to be something that you're going to want to stay there and live there for quite a while. Now, let's talk about location and accessibility. How far is this neighborhood from major employment hubs, downtown or military base, right? So just in case, if you guys are wondering, here in the Killeen, Temple, Texas area, we have one of the biggest, or if not the biggest, U.S. military installation called Fort Cavazos. It was previously known as Fort Hood, but the name got changed to Fort Cavazos. And so a lot of people, when they're PCSing in to this area, they want to know, well, Jacob, you know, how far am I from the main gate? Or how far am I from the base? You know, because sometimes they want to be within 15 to 20 minutes max due to the traffic also, right? And just in case they wake up early, like it happens to a lot of us, you know, we wake up early and we're rushing to work. So usually you want to make sure that if it's close to your job, or if it's a little too far off, if it's more convenient depending on the lifestyle. And believe it or not, guys, I have people that I've helped here in the area that live here in the Killeen, Temple, Texas market, and they'd rather travel an hour south to work in Austin because the lifestyle up here is a lot cheaper than in Austin. So they're willing to make that sacrifice. But is that for everyone? No, not everybody wants to travel an hour, right? So you always have to keep that in mind as well. What is the average commute time to key locations? Are there alternative routes to avoid traffic? I always suggest, for if you're like me, this is a little fun fact about myself. I personally like to explore back roads because you just never know. if there's ever a shutdown, or if the military ever shuts down the streets, or if you just want to avoid traffic in general, right? Sometimes these streets get congested. So you need to find an alternate route so that you don't get caught, you know, in traffic for about an extra 15, 20 minutes or up to an hour, like in the Austin area, right? So is public transportation available nearby, like buses, trains, you know, Lyft, Uber, stuff like that? Also, how accessible are highways and main roads? Also, are there sidewalks, bike paths, and pedestrian-friendly areas? So, as you guys know, with the growth that we're having here in the Central Texas area, especially in the Austin market, you see a lot more people using bikes, and so they now have access on a lot of major main roads, right, to ride their bikes on along with the traffic. Now, do I consider that to be safe? I sure won't do that, but hey, that's not my thing. Maybe it is your thing, right? So you always got to see if it's worth it for you, right? So I'm just trying to provide value with you guys and giving you some tips as to what to think of. Schools and education, this is a big one, especially for us parents that we have, you know, I have a teenager myself and a young child. So these are things that we always want to look for to see, right? So what are the local school ratings? Are they good? Are they awful? Also, are there any private charter or magnet schools nearby? So yes, we do have a couple private schools here in the area. They will also give you college credit courses. So that way, by the time you graduate high school, you're pretty much graduating with an associate's degree. And I think that's pretty cool. So we do have those. What kind of support do schools offer military families and frequent movers? Well, guys, here in this area, since we're very big on military, there's always gonna be help. Now, I personally know a few people within the school community that can definitely help you guys out with that. So that's a resource I have for those of you that are PCSing in and you want to know more information about that for your kids. Also, are there any notable academic or extracurricular programs like STEM or JROTC? Yeah, we have those here. Sports, yeah, definitely. We have all the sports. Football, especially, right? We're down south, right? So Texas is very big on football. Friday Night Lights is a real thing here. So we have football, basketball, baseball, any type of sport, wrestling, you know, whatever you guys would like to put your kids in, the programs, we also do that. And how does the school system compare to neighboring districts? This is a good one. I want to move to an area where I have a great school. What's the great school or the greatest school within that area that you can help me with? Well, I give them different options. Obviously, at the end of the day, they got to make up their own mind for their kids. But I do believe that the Killeen, Temple, Texas area offers great schools for your children, right? Obviously, things happen in schools. Kids are kids. But overall, I think the system is good, okay? Now, another thing, and I think we're gonna continue part 2 after this one, is the shopping, dining, and entertainment. So that's a real big thing here. People want to know those things, right? Because to be honest, in our area, we do have quite a bit, but if you really, really, really want to party hardy, then you're gonna have to go down to Austin, okay? The Austin area is only about an hour away from us. That's where, you know, all the big restaurants, businesses, barbecue joints, everything is down there. So you're not too far from the shopping. But here locally, obviously we have malls, we have restaurants, we have all the things nearby. So as you can see, you're also going to be enjoying your shopping and your restaurants and all that stuff. Where are the nearest grocery stores, shopping centers, and retail districts? So one major thing, okay, that we have here is the HEB, okay? HEB to us Texans that's our home away from home. There's not a better grocery store than that, okay? So wherever you're living in the United States, if you think that you have a better grocery store than we do here in Texas, well, sorry to tell you, but you're mistaken, okay? What are the best restaurants, cafes, and nightlife options nearby? We do have some comedy centers here. We have obviously Starbucks, Black Rifle Coffee Company. We also got Dunkin' Donuts and the Dutch Brothers. So if you guys are looking for cafes, we have a lot of options, you know, entertainment options like movie theaters, parks. Well, we have a few movie theaters here, parks as well. As you can see, I'm in one right now with the walking trails and stuff. And letting you guys know, this is great. You always want to make sure that you want to live in an area where you're not too far from the entertainment, because especially if you have kids, right? You want to make sure that your kids are never bored, especially in this new generation where everything is always boring, right? So I hope I was able to provide some value for you guys. And I am sorry if I am kind of rambling off, but I just want to give you guys a better idea of, if you're moving to an area, what things to look for and what things to kind of avoid, so that way you can live a better life, right? So I hope I've provided a little bit of value. We're going to continue with part 2. And if you have any questions, any concerns, if you guys would like to talk, remember, you can send us an email, shoot us a text, or better yet, let's connect via our Zoom link so we can have some FaceTime to see how we may be able to help you guys make that smooth move to or from the area. Talk to y'all soon. Take care.